Hello everyone, this is Jim Okerzinski with the week 4 lecture video. So I'm in the course unit. As you can see, I'm not going to cover much in the way of Google Drive instructions. I've published out the special edition video along with the screencast video talking about this week's schedule. What I'd like to focus on for a short period of time is talking about the peer review report. One thing that you're really looking to accomplish here before you start drafting and finishing up your draft is make sure you review the assignment one more time, understanding the length and the content. You've reviewed the this example essays and discussion board number 5. So there's been a significant discussion about what's the good and the bad about those particular example essays of the literacy narrative. So one thing I want to focus on for this lecture video, we've gone through topics and what a narrative should look like, is the idea of revision and the idea of the purpose in the report and the peer review. So once again, most students think that the peer review process is just correcting grammar, fixing sentences, but it's really not what we do here. We want to accomplish many things in the course of the peer review process. Let's look at global issues. For example, is your essay draft meeting the requirements of the assignments? You want to make sure as you write your draft and fill out your report that you're actually writing what you've been tasked with. And also, it's your job as a peer reviewer to read your classmates' drafts and the reports and make sure they're on task. All right. Nothing is more frustrating for a writer is when they go through the peer review process. A couple of people write peer reviews, and nobody mentions that they might be off task, and then they get a poor grade, and then I get feedback saying that the peer review process sucks. Nobody helped me. Well, this is what we need to do. This is a check and a balance, is really what it is peer review, the peer review process, check and a balance. So another global revision is organization. So in organization, it's pretty straightforward in a narrative, but as we move through the course, is it organized? Is it clear? Does it communicate, right? Topic sentences is a focus on a main point. These are the organizational and structural components that really address a global perspective of this particular task that you are writing, right? So once again, we all look back at each other's works, right? Everybody learning how to accept some help, some feedback. The important item to remember here is that look at what your peer reviewers offer to you as suggestions closely. Don't disregard them. I do read the reports. I do look at first drafts. I do look at final drafts. And if you do not take into consideration the feedback from your peers, and you just leave your first draft relatively the same for the final, it's probably not going to do so well in the grading category, right? Learning how to work with others and test that writing on an audience is really important, and that's what the peer report does. Is it gives you the opportunity to actually get exposure to your audience, to people. It's that transition that everybody has to make from learning how to write to a rubric to learning how to write for people. Because your life from this point on is going to be really about writing to people. Professors, task at hand, purpose, audience, specific genres. You are writing to be read, and then the clearest path to success is really clear communication, right? So, that being said, look at your report. It's your opportunity to test your writing with an audience. Ask the audience for help. That's what we do. We always ask for help. It's going to be that way in the professional world when you move on from college. So, make sure that you come up with 3 targeted things that you want input on. On the flip side, then, when you write a peer review, go in there, look at the students in your group, see who needs a peer review. Open up the report, read the report first, then go to the draft so that you're aware of what the writer is looking for. Be constructive and helpful. If somebody is just really not performing on task, then just figure out a way to use your words to let them know that, hey, you might want to consider this or look at the assignment. I don't think that's what Mr. O is looking for. So you want to make sure that you offer some direction to help them out. You can't force them. It's their choice, just like it's their grade. It's pretty straightforward. So, as you go through, look at my prompts, look at what the writer writes in the reports, offer up any suggestions. I believe the last question in my prompts is to offer three things. What do you think needs some attention, right? So, I cannot stress to everyone the importance of peer review. Giving in peer review means that you'll get something back. Now, do I control the whole process? No, I cannot. I cannot control peer review. Who posts on time, who gives a good review, who just writes basic, yeah, this looks great. I love your essay without much feedback, all right? I look at those comments and I look who actually, and I assess the peer review reports and I assess the peer reviews. If you run through your peer review and you say, hey, great essay, and I wouldn't change a thing, or maybe look at this paragraph and it's just vague and non-specific, remember, it's probably you're not gonna get full points. This is not a completion activity. So I assess them, use like in our readings and our discussion board reports, use some evidence. In chapter, or I should say in paragraph 3, you talk about this. You might want to rework this, or you might want to add information to this paragraph. Go right to the text. That's what we do in college. We go right to the text. All right. So I hope this little lecture video has helped explain the peer review and report process and the revision process to the final essay draft. That being said, good luck. Stay safe out there. And if you have any questions, please send me an email.